Tracker RMS Evolution Dashboard video. In this dashboard video, we're going to cover where you find your dashboards in Tracker. We'll then also talk about what dashboards actually are. Then once we've established that, we'll talk about how to create these dashboards. In the creation process, we'll create some lists of candidates, contacts, and activities, and then add those lists to the dashboards so you can see how easy it is to do it on your own. We'll then also add reports and then add pre-built widgets to the dashboards. Finally, once our dashboard is complete, we'll then talk about how to share the dashboards amongst your colleagues. So let's go ahead and get started. In order to view your dashboards, when you log into Tracker, you're going to hover over Home, and here you'll see a link that says My Dashboards and Shared Dashboards. Once you hover over them, they will show you the dashboards that are associated. And keep in mind, if you're a new user or if you've never used our dashboards before, your only option under My Dashboards may be My Default Dashboard. From here, you can click on any of these that you would like to view your dashboard and to also edit and or create a new one. Let's take a look at My Dashboard so we can see what they're all about. At the top of the screen, you're going to see our pre-built widgets. These ones include My Placements, Jobs Won, Candidates Registered, as well as Resumes Sent. This I can add to my dashboard so I can see my productivity for the month. And as I scroll down, I'll see a report that I created called My Open Jobs by Stage. Going down a little bit further here, I have My Priority Jobs, Active Java Candidates, and My Telephone Calls to Make. These are all lists that I especially made for myself and added to the dashboard. So the dashboard is essentially one page you can go to keep track of your productivity and anything that you need to know during the day or week in order to be more efficient at your job. Any dashboard you create is fully customizable. So if I scroll back up to the top here, I can change the colors of my widgets. I can change also the coloring on my reports. I can also change the sizes of these different pieces. Another thing I can do is pick up and drag and drop anything that I would like in different areas. To do so, you're going to want to click this to unlock. Once it's unlocked, if you click on the sprocket, the first button is going to be the delete option. You'll see it's a tiny little trash can. If I click on that, it's going to ask me if I'm sure I want to remove this panel, and I can hit OK if I do. That would remove the panel and leave that space blank so I can add anything else that I would like. If I'd like to change the name, I can use the pencil in the middle here, and instead of placements, I can name that something else. Once I make any changes, I will see that the icon has changed to a little save icon. I'll then click the disk and save it there. If I'd like to change the color of the heading, I can click on the next option, which is just like a water droplet. Here, I can choose a different color to use for my top heading there. And once I've made the change, I can hit that save button again. If I'd like to expand this particular widget or option here, I can click on the two arrows facing each other, and that expands it. That will help you more on your reporting if you'd like a full screen of your report. Going back to the widget here, if I'd like to change the size of this particular widget, I can click on this last option here, and this will give me the different options I can have for how large this piece will be. If I pick a 2x1, you'll see here it's stretched out a little bit bigger. Or if I'd like it to maybe be a 3x3, it'll take up more of the screen. So it's really up to you what you would like to do and where you can place these items. All you need to do to move them around is click on it, pick it up, and drag and drop. I can also pick up this entire report and pick it up and move it here as well. If I'd like to pop this report out, I can click on the arrow that says opens this report, and that will bring me to the report view so I can make any changes that I need if I need to edit. going back to my dashboard here, if I'd like to make any changes to this report, I have those same options when I click the sprocket at the top. I also have an export option on my reports. So you'll see a couple of lines and a little icon on the right hand side. Here you can export it as an image, a PDF, or even an Excel spreadsheet if you would like. Now let's take a look at how to create some lists so I can add them to a brand new dashboard. First, we'll take a look at contacts. I'm going to hover over contacts and go to all contacts. Now, salespeople, this is probably going to be for you. If you'd like to filter out your contacts, we can create a filter and we'll create a new list from that filter. You do not have to go from all contacts. You can do it from my contacts or even new ones or even your favorites if you would like. It's really up to you how you'd like to create this list. But once we get into this list view, you will see filter over on the right hand side. We'll click that to filter this list. So today I'd like to take a type of prospect. So I'm going to pick contact type, prospect. I'm then going to go down to the company details, and I would like in the vertical of accountants. So this list should give me all my contacts in a vertical of accountants. Now that I have my list, you'll see here up in the right corner a save button. I can click to save my list, so we'll call it accountant prospects. And we'll hit save. Now that this list is created, let's create another list that we can add to our dashboards. Now let's look at candidates. Recruiters, this one's going to be for you. Don't forget, you can create as many lists as you would like, and you can enter any criteria that you would like. It is totally up to you. I'm going to start at all candidates, but again, you can start with my candidates if you'd like that filter already, or even just active or new, but it's totally up to you how you'd like to make this list. As long as you're in the view of a list view here, move over to the right and click on the filter. You can then do a full resume search by clicking on resume search. Today we're going to do project manager. Once I hit go, you'll see I have a list of 111 project managers. Now that the save button has appeared, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to type in project managers. That's the name of my view. Now that I save this view, it will be ready for me to add to my new dashboard once I'm ready to create it. Let's take a look at our activities so we can create specialized lists from there as well. If I hover over home, I can click on activities. Here, you're going to get a list of activities that will default to your own activities that are pending, that are due up until today. To see that, click on the purple filter button to the right here, and you'll see the status change here, the period, as well as the assigned to, who should be yourself. Now I'd like to filter this list down a little bit and only see my interviews. So I'm going to click on type and then click on interview. I would also only like to see the interviews that I have for this week. So let's click on the date range area, choose this week, and now I'll hit go. Now you'll see a filter of all my interviews that are pending due this week. We'll click save here. And let's call it interviews this week. Now that this is saved, that will be ready to go to add to my dashboard as well. Last but not least, let's go ahead and create a quick new report here, and we'll add that to our dashboard once that's completed as well. To create that new report, I'm going to click on the plus next to reporting. Please keep in mind you may not see this in your view of tracker. It may be limited to administrators of your system only. If you'd like a report created, please do reach out to them to see if they can help. Once the report is created though, it will be able to be added to a dashboard, so you do not always need access to reporting to make that happen. Once I click on that plus, it does bring me to our new report screen, and you'll see a purple arrow over pointing to the right here because I need to choose my report view. I'd like to do an open jobs report, so I'll click on the jobs tab here. We then need to choose how much further we need to look into these jobs. I would like a very basic report, so I'll click on just the standard jobs. Now you'll see the arrow has moved over to the left in order to create the view of the report. So if you would like a table report, you can hover over that and see it's a table report. You have a pie chart, a graph, or even a line chart. It is up to you which you would like to decide. I'm going to choose table for this particular report because I'd like to see some details right on my dashboard. You'll see that the arrow has now moved over to the right, and what I need to do is start adding columns for my report. So I will click on the date section here, click on creation, and drag it on over. Other details that I would like are listed in the general tab, where I'll click there, and we'll pick company name, job name, job status, and then I'd also like to know the owner of the job. Now that I have my columns selected, I'd like to add a simple filter on here to only show my open jobs. What I'll do is underneath set filters for your report, I'll click on the green plus next to filter. In the drop down menu, I'm going to choose job state equal to, and then we'll say open. Now that I have my filter, I can click on preview, and this will show me all of my open jobs. I'd also like to sort this by creation date to keep my newest jobs at the top. So what I'll do is hover over creation date, click on that down arrow, and in the sort direction, let's change that to descending, and I'll hit OK. Now that I have my filter set and the report set the way I would like it, I can scroll up where all the fields are and click on Save to save the report. Here, I would give the report a name. I could give it a description if you would like. And then you do have to put it into a report group. So let's call that Jobs. And then you can fill out any of these others if you would like. It is up to you. Keep in mind you can add this right to a dashboard by clicking in Add to Dashboard and choosing that dashboard from the drop-down menu. Or you can share the report with others by clicking in here and choosing a colleague. I'm not going to add this to a dashboard from here. I'd like to show you how to do that from the dashboard screen. So I'll go ahead and hit Save to save this report. Now I need to go add a new dashboard and create it. To do that, all I need to do is hover over Home and either hover over My Dashboards or Share Dashboards, and then pick a dashboard where we can get to that New button. So I'll click on Everything just to go to this dashboard here, and you'll see in the top right corner a button that says New Dashboard. Let's click on there. And this will bring me to the area where I can add any parts that I would like to my new dashboard. So first, let's start off with the views that we created. You'll see over on the right a tab that says Views, and if you click on that, this should be all your views. So in the activities, I'd like to add interviews this week. I'd like to make that a little bit bigger, so I'm going to click on that sprocket, click on the X here, and let's make this a 3x1, which makes it a bit wider. I'm then going to go down to Contacts here, and let's add our accountant prospects that we added earlier. You'll see all the new parts are added to the top, but you can drag and drop as needed. This one, I'd like to make this a bit wider here, so I will click on this, and let's click on a 4x1, which will bring it across the whole screen. Don't forget, in lists, you can add columns as well, so you can add any of the columns that you need to make this workable for you. I'm going to add the company name. I'm also going to add a phone number. And hit save. You'll see that now we have a contact name, company name, mobile phone, and other phone. Also, don't forget you have the preview UI that will give you a snippet right into that contact view. If there are any other columns that you would like to add, go ahead and click on the Columns button and check or uncheck the columns that you would like. Now to match this one at the top, I'm going to take this interviews panel and I'm actually going to extend it a bit just to make it just as wide. I now want to add my candidate list here by clicking on candidates and finding my project managers and clicking on that green plus. That's going to add my project managers to the top. I'm also going to widen this here by clicking that 4x1 to make it go across the top of the screen. Now I would like my interviews to show at the top of the screen, so I'm going to hover over the column title at the top here, and you'll see my icon is turned into a hand. I'm going to pick that up and drag this to the top of the screen here. This is now set with my new view here, with having interviews this week at the top, project manager list, and then accountant prospects. I'm going to scroll back up here and let's take a look at how to add the reports. Now I'll click on a report tab and I'm going to go to the jobs section because that's where I saved my open jobs report. You'll see that here. So I'll go ahead and click on the green plus, and this will give me a list of all my open jobs that I wanted here. You'll see here you can scroll down to view the entire thing so you have a view of everything that you need. Last but not least, I'd like to add a couple of widgets to the top of the screen here by clicking on widgets. I would like to see my performance with candidates, and let's say how many resumes have been sent. I'll add that here and move that on over. Looks like I haven't been too productive this week, so I don't have any resumes sent out for the week, but that is okay. I will be picking up the pace tomorrow. I can also add any of these other widgets that I need. Maybe you want to see new jobs entered into the system. I can add that here, but I'd like to move that on over to the side here. Now don't forget, you can color code all of these, like I showed you earlier. All you need to do is click on the sprocket itself, click on the droplet of water here, and change the color. Once I like the color, I'll hit save, and that'll be there. Resume sent, I'd like to change the color on this as well, and make that blue. You do have to hit the sprocket again to make that menu go away. And we'll save it here. Moving on over to new jobs, I'll go ahead and change the color on this. Now if I would like to change the name, I can click on the pencil and I can call it New Jobs I Entered. Once I make those changes, again, all you need to do is hit that save icon, and now your dashboard has been created. One of the most important things you will need to do though is save this dashboard. So now that I've put the parts on it, I will go over to the right hand side and click on save. I can name the dashboard whatever I would like. I'm going to call it my daily dashboard because this is something that I would like to look at every single day. Now if you want to set it as a default, you can click on yes. That means anytime you go to dashboards, this will be your default one. You can also share these dashboards with your colleagues. So click down here, choose one of your colleagues' names, or you can choose more than one, and they will then have this dashboard listed in their shared dashboards. So for the salespeople, if you guys have created an open pipeline report, you might want to share that. Also, if you have a list of prospects, you may want to do that as well. Once you've set all these defaults, you can go ahead and hit save, and now your dashboard has been saved. If you would like, over at the top where it says home and then my daily dashboard, because that's what we named it, you can click on that down arrow to choose any of the dashboards to see a different one. Keep in mind the shared dashboard section will be only the dashboards that have been shared with you. And if they have been shared with you, you will not be able to edit the dashboard. So you cannot change any of the parts on the dashboard, nor can you change any coloring on there or where any parts are located. Some other options that you do have on this dashboard is to clone it. If I click that clone button, it creates a second one for me called copy of, and then I might be able to add some different parts if I need, move things around, and call it a different dashboard. I would like to go back to the dashboard to show you a couple other things here. If you would like to edit it, up in the top right corner, you can click on that. That will allow you to add any new parts that you may need. Maybe if there was a new report that wasn't listed or a new view that you've added, you can go in here and add anything that you would like. Once you make any changes, you're always going to want to hit save, and that will update. One last aspect of Tracker that you can do is set your dashboards to be your login screen. So if you would like, you can click on your name in the top right corner and click on My Settings. In this area here, if you scroll down to My View Preferences, here is your startup page. That means when you log in, what page will start up. If you click on this drop-down menu, you can click My Dashboard. Save the settings. And when you log into Tracker, your dashboard is going to be your home screen. So let's go ahead and log off. And let's log back in. Click Log Me On. And your home screen is now my daily dashboard, so I can work off this every day. That is how you create a dashboard. If you do have any questions, please use the chat feature inside Tracker to reach out to our support team or create a support ticket, and we would be more than happy to help you. Thank you and have a great day.